Hello. Hello, everyone. Good morning. And welcome to the last live stream in the series of building social media integration for Frappe CRM. So, yeah, we just bring up crm.localhost 8080. It might not be running. Buzz is there. Zoom integration is there. A lot of apps are there. Okay. Code dot. Yes. Beyond there. Cool. So where were we? We were where? Okay. Buildposition.com. So sadly, the last live stream, right? The screen was stuck forever after certain point in time. I restarted it twice, and then the third time, um, I didn't notice that okay, it's stuck. So OBS had some issues that day, which was causing this screen recording to be stopped for some reason. But yeah, anyways, we can't do much about it. So sorry for that. Okay. No one is watching, so also fine. So yeah, thanks. We have crossed 8,000 subscribers, so confetti time. And yep, I'll show you what we did in the last live stream. We did this. So you go to lead syncing and then this updates thing, right? There's the update page where you can then map your fields and start the syncing. Okay. So the thing is, mm, I had a chat with Sharik 2 days ago on getting this working. So basically, right now, it's just a data field, right? As in, the user can enter anything, and this is error prone. What we want is the autocomplete field, which will show the fields that are available in CRM so they can map to it. Correct. That is what we'll do today. And I had a discussion with him on how to design this thing. So yeah, let's just go here and bring this here. Yep. So we have this on the site and this here, which is edit link six source. One more big discussion we had is that if you see new page is separate from update page, they both can be the same. The actions in update page are above, in the new page they are below. So because we copied from different places, but the right thing to do from UI UX perspective, that all refactors I'll do off screen probably. Today we'll implement two things. We'll get this working, the field overrides, where what we actually want is to be able to get the field mapping or the autocomplete, right? Second is get the syncing duration or syncing frequency working, where they can select, okay, sync every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, etc. etc. So that we'll do today. So two things on list, this one, that's it. And then polishing I'll do off screen and get it merged. Cool. Let's go. So, okay. So imagine, uh, for now it will be hard-coded function get um, CRM lead fields. Okay. So there is this function that will return the field somehow, right? So they will return the label, let's say first name, value, and then we'll make it dynamic so it fetches from the doc type meta itself. But for now, we'll say it's fine. Uh, just to get it working, label organization, value organization, just two fields for now. And then somehow I want to pass it to this grid, right? to be used for this, right? And this map to CRM field is called, I don't know, mapped to CRM field. Okay. So what I want is that I want to override. So that component doesn't support it. So we will have to add that support to the grid component. So for all future purposes, it will be nice and going on, right? So overwrite, what we want is an object. Yep. CRM field. No, it's not called CRM field. D, and this will become double. Yep. So this is called mapped to CRM field. Okay. So the idea is that for this field name, use this function, right? We'll pass in the function. I'm not calling into the function. Pass this function, and this will take probably because it's a child table. Maybe it will get the row or something. Maybe not, because the autocomplete field doesn't depend on that. So it should be fine. We can pass in a computed field as well. So it can be or cannot be a function. If it is a function, it will call it. If it's not a function, that's also fine. Okay. So let's do this for now. And then right now it won't be handled because it is not supported. Overrides. So we'll add a support to grid.view for this. Props, overrides, type is object, default is this. Default is an empty object. That's it. Okay. So those overrides should now be somehow applied to the fields, right? Because right now only fields will be supported. So what we will do is get fields. Yep. I think here we can apply. So there is all fields. Get field object. So where should this override apply? Field name. What is used in the front end? I want to check. So field. Where is this coming from? Fields. Fields equal to computed. Yeah, it's coming from here. So what we will have to do is apply the override. That is fine. Apply the override probably here. Apply overrides. Yes. Yeah. What is it complaining about? Yeah, fine with it. Fonts. So if there are field overrides, const override of prop.override.fields, grid fields dot find this field name. Okay, for each override, it's just overriding the thing. Cool, 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 cool. So it will just override the options to this function or whatever is returned from that function. It's quite nice. So what we are saying is backend, anything comes in, you can still override using your front end stuff. Yeah. Mm, then we will have to somehow somehow it's complaining about let, but that is fine. I won't touch old code for now, at least. Let's get it working. We'll need an autocomplete. So if you see how grid works is basically it renders a form control. If the field type is user, it's a link field. Okay. Yeah, so it's just V else if, V else if. Hi Ganesh. Date picker is there, time date picker is there, form control again. So as far as I know, autocomplete is not handled here. Autocomplete. See, there are styles somehow here, but autocomplete field is not rendered, so it might be falling off to V else, which would be at the very end. See, V else. So before this, we'll add our. So it will be autocomplete from Frappe UI, or do we create our own autocomplete field? Hmm. Is formatted input, formatted input. What is formatted input? Formatted input. Add some text input with some formatting applied. There is a link field. Huh. That's fine. We'll use autocomplete from Frappe UI probably, or we'll create one. Let's start by using autocomplete from Frappe UI, but if it feels like not something achievable, autocomplete or combo box, whatever it is called, ui.frappe.io. Good morning. We want autocomplete, single option. But here's the deal. It shows only one, the label thing. I also want to show the field name probably. Internally, what is the field name called in CRM? So let's start with this, at least get it working. Then in the refactoring phase, maybe I'll go and refactor it. So let's just increase this space so we can get, okay, it just takes options and we model and placeholder. Cool. So autocomplete is to be gone above V else. We'll say form control, no, autocomplete. Autocomplete. V else if autocomplete. Okay. Let's see what it did. Class SM, whatever. I don't know why. It's an autocomplete field. Options is field dot options. So we have already overridden it. So it should be working now. Field dot placeholder. Field dot options. Label also. Field dot label. Correct. Let's see what's broken. Ah, ah. So I don't think we'll need label in child table. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, but other things are broken. Nice. See, this is what actually I wanted. V model is not working, but that we'll see. A change. So autocomplete doesn't have a change. So placeholder. would be uh, oh, it has to be dynamic. So what we'll do is we'll also override the placeholder. Placeholder not synced. Will that work? And that too will need it translated. Yep. So not synced, not synced, not synced, not synced. But it's not working. Yeah, the console. Tell me what's happening. Hmm. Not working for some reason. Okay, let's figure it out. How are other things working? Also copy this stuff. Probably. So is the function called? That is my concern. Trigger on change. Okay, console.log. Let's do that. No, our change is not being triggered. That is an issue that we can fix. By seeing how autocomplete works. It works with V model. So we'll have to say V model. V model breakdown to event, something like that, because V model is combination of two things. This is equivalent to what input? No, not working. Value is this. Ah, disabled is fine. Put field change V row. Incoming call. I can take right now. Art input is also not working. Okay. Hmm. Let's see if it is used anywhere else. Auto complete. Art change should have worked. See, art change. No, value. Options. Oh, no, maybe I'll have to take this call. Yeah, so that was the LPG cylinder guy. Okay, so art change should have worked, which is not working. So that's that we'll have to figure out. Okay, should have all. Let's just do console.log. Maybe just let's just refresh. Sometimes the cache issue is there. Yeah, something broke. Cannot read properties of undefined file. Where? Grid settings. Ah, it's related to something we did. But let's. Oh, okay, grid is broken. Get grid settings. Where is it? Where is the grid settings? Hmm. Where is fine? Where is it? If this the issue, if settings dot length get field object. What does this do? It takes a field. You can do this. Let's go to hmm. What I want is this grid. This has a model value. This thing. So first name is there, so it should have populated that. But let's see more things. There is also grid settings. With this fields object. Okay. There is some issue because I don't see our options here. Where are the options? There is field name, field type, etc. etc. Maybe we should override it to one layer below. So instead of doing this here, right, we'll do it inside the get field object thing. And then see, yep, apply overrides. What is this? No, we shouldn't return it as is. Actually, we need to override. Confusing is fine. Let it be. Uh, But you are changing the whole logic of it. Cool. Now we reverted the change. You know what this green purple thing is? No, not related to Copilot. I think override should be after this because otherwise the placeholder wouldn't be overridden. That is the thing. So we'll close, we'll add it here. We'll say um, on the filters, then overriding. So it says field object with filters. And there is, yep, this should do. It's simpler as well. Then placeholder, cool. So placeholder override also will work. Okay, let me just refresh again. Hopefully, not sure why it's not working, but yeah, it's working now. Like working as in it's not breaking at least, but still the fields are not mapped properly. So check JavaScript console. And, so we came very bottom of it. It should be this autocomplete. So autocomplete has got this options: first name, organization, value. What are the response? This. Yep, now it worked. If you see first name, email, mobile number, organization. So this should now. Ah, we are not changing not. Oh, it's just console log, I guess. And console log is also not working for some. Ha. No, this art change is not triggered. Art select, I'm not sure. Uh, yeah, I have to check how it works. I'm sure why it doesn't work as expected. So it set it, but hmm, hmm, update model. Hmm, this should work. Let's see. If I change this to first name, no, no. Yeah, see now it is at least coming here. Okay. If I change this to first name, it's logging in this proxy object, which is just too many things. Three things. So one is this. Oh, value is not actually valued. It is returning the whole object. The autocomplete is returning the whole object. I think they just want the value. So what I will do is the value is actually okay, got it. The issue is here. So so it will be selected option and this selected option dot value is the thing that we want. Cool. So now if I go to organization first name, it prints first name. I didn't set it. It should have set it. That's the whole point of it. Wait a minute. Okay, row is an object probably. Let's try with this. No. Correctly printing the value, but it's not reflecting in the UI, which means this thing isn't changing. Why would, because everywhere else it's working if you see. Field change. Target close to the Hmm. So let's just read some more code. So field change it triggers trigger on change, which is inject. What if I remove that line? Just use the model. Yeah, it works perfectly. So the issue is with that change listener. It doesn't set it automatically. So probably we should do this. So V model should be V model, but then change also is handled somehow. Selection dot value. Yeah, somehow. So first name, much better, right? This is a nice UX where they can just say I want first name, then there should be email. So now the second step is to make it dynamic in the sense we want to get these fields. So let's go there. Cool, 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 cool. Here we want this to return the fields. Okay, that will be. Hmm. So there is already an API in here, which is crm.api API dot crm.api dot get dot get field something. API let's search for it. Get fields. API.doc.get fields. Yep. Get fields meta in this API. Actually, we want something very similar. Fields. Get fields meta. So this will return fields meta for a given doc type. And then we are restricting the fields and then something something. So we'll use the same. Let's copy from here. So we will paste it here. Create resource is it imported? We'll import it from UI, create resource. Yeah. This. Okay. So fields, there is no param dot value. We'll say doc type is CRM lead. So for CRM lead, then we will also transform that data dot filter. We will return. Actually, we don't want the map because this mapping we'll do in another function. So what I'm saying is, except this fields, let them select anything. Owner creation, these all are like internal fields which anyways the user shouldn't be mapping to. Okay. So then I will create a computed thing. So this will become computed. Const field equal to computed. Cool. And then this shall go away. Computed. If fields dot data, field dot data dot value, then map it. Cool. What I'm saying is this will fetch the meta, then we'll do this. Just one more thing. Restricted field dot includes field dot field name. Correct. And then we are mapping it. Cool. So let's just expand this. We might have some issue. Props dot update, that is not the thing. CRM lead. Yep. So if it is already cached somewhere, that is also good. We'll fetch it. Let's do it. Let's do it in full screen because now it is getting annoying. Yep. Settings. Syncing. This. It's broken. Nice. Properties of undefined filter. Setup.get CRM leads is not a function. Yeah, I know it's not a function. Why is this important? And we should treat it as a function. That is the thing. It's not a function, then not treat it as a function. So if you see, it's gone. Gone. Options are no longer there. Hmm. I want this somehow, but how? We have to check what is being passed to that. To complete undefined. Options is undefined. Hmm. Hmm. Model value is organization, but options is undefined. So get CRM leads. If fields dot dot data, data dot value, data dot value. It will just be this. Let's refresh. Let's hope things are not broken. Yep, things are broken again. Cannot read properties of undefined tipping filter. Filter. That is why I don't let these things autocomplete. It should snooze Copilot. Hmm. Leader dot filter is not a function. Let's see, these are the fields. As arrays false by default. This is why you read the code. Read the code. Yeah, cool. Hmm. Cool. This is nice. Control Shift G, feed. Basically, what we did in this PR was hello Said. Hello Said. Is my name correct or not? I don't know, but sorry for not. So the first thing is then that we tried to do today was this. Basically, now the UX is much better, right? They are not randomly typing in different things. If it is not synced, it is not synced. But they can map it. So they can say, okay, I want this to be mapped to first name, this to be mapped to organization, mobile number to be mapped to mobile number. Have you heard of Frappe before? They can go and add a new custom field for that and phone number as well. Phone number is mobile number, email is email. So nice. They can map things now. Cool, 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 cool. Mapping table auto complete. Or let's do it in two pieces. So I'll just remove this one. We'll just remove feed grid effort for override field overrides and auto complete. Cool, 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 cool. And now feed auto complete CRM fields in mapping table. Front end is hard and getting it right is very hard, right? So if you imagine we spend the past 50 minutes, right? We struggled and like it's a new code base for me as well, so a little bit more struggle. But we got this right now. So they can just enjoy it, right? And we also made a reusable override interface. So in the future, whoever uses Grid can then override this. Yeah, maybe 50 minutes worth it. Next thing is we want to enable this syncing. So that is the big backend thing. I'm happy we are going back to back. 8,000. Let's have going back to the desk. I like the desk. So sync source desk. So here we want how frequently do you want to sync? Syncing frequency, right? So let's edit the doc type. And here we have some options. Hmm. So either we give them like complete control. Let's say you will do okay every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, every hour, every day, every week, so on and so forth. And then every week you won't do because then makes sense which day of the week. Mm. What all options should we give? Any opinions on this? And should it be a select field or place no, then this field can be here, this field can be here. I'll tell you why I did that. Tab is not required anymore. This section's display depends on eval dot type equal is yep. So now what will happen is currently there is only Facebook, but if it is not, then so it's that mm, it's not a section. Full section is very different. Cool. Okay, so now let's figure out the meat, right? So, if I recall correctly, Ruthra did a PR in framework, which might be useful in this use case. Let me just pull into task folder here. Ruthra, close. Yes. So allow for configurable persistent cron jobs without hooks.py. Cron jobs which are created from scheduler events are maintained, cannot be adjusted later to have a different trigger interval. This is because on each bench migrate, framework resyncs the cron interval based on hooks.py. And it was backported to v15, so we should be fine. This can be worked around through after migrate hook, but this is not ideal. Job will be deleted and recreated on each migrate. So there is an example executing after migrate recreated here. So it's deleted here and then recreated here, right? A new doc type called scheduler event is introduced. This will serve as possible anchor for schedule job types, similar to how server script serves as possible anchor. This allows for programmatically setting up cron job with configurable trigger intervals that persist across bench migrate. See, process payment reconciliation and this message. So probably in ERP next also there is a need for them to let the user decide the frequency, right? If you use the hooks.py wala frequency, you'll be hard coding a lot of things, right? Which user doesn't have control over. Here, what we could get is we can on the fly generate this scheduler event depending on the job. So let's check. We'll have to take this call. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. Hmm. So what was it? On channels, the user configurable trigger interval, create a scheduler event record and create a schedule job type entry against that record. Okay, this doesn't require scheduler event hook. That is what actually what I want. The scheduler job types trigger interval can be modified later, which persists across bench migration. The job triggered by scheduler are run by administrator. That is fine. So basically, scheduler event is created, scheduled against payment process reconciliation. That is fine. Then you save it, and then job new schedule job type, job frequency is this, scheduler event name is this scheduler event, cron format save. So we can give them any type of options as long as it is supported cron format or frequency, right? So let's go to CRM dot and see scheduler event list. It can't be created from here, so we'll have to create it through code. Frappe dot, let's just copy the code from here. Scheduler event. Scheduled against lead sync source and then source ID 123 something something. We'll figure out what to do with this. Then we'll create a new schedule job type. Hmm, every 5 minutes. Let's this doesn't commit, so we'll go to system console Python commit link validation error. Okay, what type of link is it? Doc type scheduler event. I'm also using something new. Scheduled against is scheduled against is a doc type. Okay, and then doc type and the method. Hmm. I would want to see how it is used in ERP next. So lead sync source and method is also needed. So docs are ha docs need updating. Here you need method as well. So we'll say method. I want to see how it is used in ERP next. So I'll just open up our ERP next. Oh no, I opened up our chat. No, that shouldn't be live streamed. It can be, but again, just to studios slash and then I want to check scheduler event list. See, there is just one, and the method is erpnix.account.process payment reconciliation something something. So it's just used for that example that Ruth had done. So this will be the second use case probably. So method should be a dotted path. So does it have to be unique? We'll check. So right now I want lead sync soul.py. Here only I can maybe sync. Hmm. So if I use the same method, then it will be an issue. So I'm just thinking that how do we go about this? I just want one function, right? That depending on the frequency set, right? So let's just start there maybe. So I'll leave it as this and duplicate this. Go back to our doc type list. Yeah. Then we'll say select frequency syncing, auto syncing frequency or background syncing frequency, background sync frequency. Yep, that works. So we'll give them every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, and then every hour, every day. We'll say hourly, daily, hourly, daily, monthly. Yeah. Yearly, I don't think is required. Maybe later on we'll give them cron, but for now it is fine. Cool. So default could be every hour. Default could be hourly. I'm getting a lot of calls. I'm just exhausted. I have calls after I have calls. Being a founder is not easy, right? When I was just at Frappe, plain simple employee YouTuber, that was good. Already enabled for this. I did enable it. No, it is not. Yeah. Why was it shouting? I don't know. So background sync frequency is hourly. So now they expect that hourly the sync leads will be called, right? So we'll say def sync leads from all enabled sources, right? Enabled sources, pluck name, and this. This is expected. And sync leads takes care of setting, it should take care of setting last sync that. Where is it set? Hmm. But when do we run this, right? Hourly, we have to run this in some other frequency. Okay. So the usual approach would be we create one job, one function for each frequency, and then hooks.py may will put it. And that the approach that Ruthra took doesn't work for us because it's not a doc type level or method level thing. Or can it be? So can we create duplicates? So let's just crm.lead syncing.doctype. This is too much. So what we will do is lead sync source doc type lead syncing. We'll call it what could we call it? What is it called in hooks.py? Scheduler event. Oh, in CRM there are no scheduler events. Okay. tasks. Okay. Tasks dot py, and then we'll move this there. Import Frappe. Yep. Try accept exception as if Frappe dot log error tabs. I think this should be enough. Error syncing leads for source, this source. Cool. Okay, now the major piece. How do we make sure this works? This is called at the right time. I had done a PR that used to send the frequency as well of hmm, brain is not working. Let me just drink some water. And one more thing while we are at it. So there should be two sync leads functions. So there should be one more. I'll tell you why. Actually, that should be the whitelisted one. There should be an internal function one which will do this. Control X. No, yeah, Control X. This will be the other way around. So Frappe dot NQ. Yep, this. So when we click the button sync now, it should do it in the background instead of in sync. Okay. Yeah. So now internally, since it is already in the background, we are calling this internal function that will sync lead in sync, not async. Okay. Mm, Now the issue is how do we, the major issue, right, that we have been tackling. Hmm. How do we, how do we go about it? So again, let's go to Frappe. I'm trying to look for a good approach. I can do hard coded ones, but that won't scale. Closed author is me. Schedule job type announcements. Do not backport. Huh. I have not backported it, so I can't use it. Method is no longer used as name, are used as uniqueness identifier, are attached to before execution. Okay. Hmm. So we can't use that. So how do we go about this? So let's do this. Let's try Rutra's method and then we'll see what else we can do. Sync leads from all enabled sources. CRM dot tasks dot sync lead from all enabled sources. Let's execute. Oh, method is not carried over. So now there should be a scheduler event against the lead source. Yep. And there should be a scheduled job type, not job log, job, job, scheduled job type list, which has this cron, which runs every 5 minutes, and the event is this. So if I'm able to create one more with a different frequency and link it to this, then we should be fine. So probably logs will get this back, rerun in console. We don't need to create a new event. We will just say the event is, so now this same thing will be called in every 10 minutes. Ah, but how will we know that when is it being called? How does server script do it? Server script has the same thing, like yeah, this. So for server script is handled differently at the framework level. That is why I implemented that thing, but I have not backported it. And it's not safe to backport because it's like breaking changes and whatnot. But yeah, now I think we could. It's working fine in develop for a long time now. So right now what will happen if we do as is, we'll create schedule job type like 3 times, right? So one is 5 minutes, second is 10 minutes, third is we'll create log for now. And let's just go back to basics. Code dot server script dot py on update sync schedule job type. Okay. Get schedule job type server script, get doc type server script. Previous schedule strip, get value before save. Oh, there is a nice this thing, get value before save. Nice. So we can reuse it someplace someday rather than getting get dog before save. If this has not changed, then return, else update the frequency method frequency cron stop. Mm. Hmm. Because each server script is a different method. That is why this used to work, right? But we want the same method to be called. Uh, hmm, how can I control the frequency of each source? It's not just a global thing where, or it can be. Actually, we can put it in a single octave and that would be easy way out, right? So you configure once that settings in your CRM settings somehow that when will the lead be synced every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. But maybe what the user wants is that Facebook too should be synced. This form should be synced every 20 minutes, or this should be synced every 10 minutes. Hmm. So let's be agile maybe. What we can do is when people ask for it, that okay, um, give us this thing, right? How will they know the UX? Because there is a settings page in CRM, but that setting then will have to appear in lead syncing somehow. Hmm. So is there a general settings view? CRM dot localhost 8080. No, 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 no. Maybe we can give it about this. Will look odd, but at least they will have the option. The ideal is this that per source you should be able to configure it. Uh, huh. Okay, let's just get it done and then we will somehow figure out a better way to do it. Okay, not all. We want daily, hourly, weekly, monthly. Weekly also not required. Hourly. Yep. And then we want cron every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes. And you will know what the problem I was talking about. You'll have to create different functions, right? That call this and that pass in the frequency. Frequency star none. Yep. So if there is a frequency, we'll pass it down here. Sync frequency. What was it called? Lead sync source dot py. Not py. We want to check the JSON file. Background sync frequency is frequency. Cool. Format document. Okay. Now we'll say sync leads for sources of 5 minutes. This is what I meant. See, Yep. Doesn't look good. Lot of repetition. And now we'll come to hooks.py and we'll say crm.tasks dot 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Ugly, very ugly. I'll need to backport that somehow. Ah. Hmm. Because that also brings this thing where you can use the same method, schedule it. Okay, let's just get it done for now, then we'll see. Uh, Same here. No, not correct, not correct. This is also not correct. CRM dot tasks dot. Yep, yep. This is the way, like before that PR gets merged, that this can work, what we are trying to implement, right? So this will run daily. It will call the daily function, and then we will sync the leads which are to be synced daily, right? But once that PR is backported, like currently in develop, it is possible. What we could do is essentially we could call this, and then we could do if, right? Frappe dot flags dot, I think it's frequency or something, is equal to star 5 this. We could do this. And this is also not required. We could just call, this is not this actually. You got my point? So whoever is calling that hook or the scheduler will pass in the frequency to you on which it is being called. Make sense? Then all of this in hooks.py could be just one function, not different functions for each frequency. For now, I'll leave it be. This will work. There's nothing wrong in it, except the repetition, of course. So now let's try something. Every 5 minutes we'll go to lead sync source list, and then this every 5 minutes. I'm not sure why the error is coming in. Let's just check while we are here. This, oh, accept itself. Accept itself. Yep, this was the issue. Because it will check db.exist and it will check, okay, I am enabled, that we have to exclude itself. Are there any other sources that are enabled? Okay, obvious mistake. Fine. So now every 5 minutes this should trigger. Since we changed hooks.py, we should bench dash dash site crm.localhost migrate. My god, my god. Yep, let's check. Okay, now scheduled job type. You see? So there is a 5 minute one. Where is 5 minute? Okay. We made some mistake because I can't see that. Let's go back to hooks.py. Cron. Yeah, not here. Why is that? Small c. Ah, shouldn't have mattered. But anyways, I'll try again. Yeah, it came now. Why is that? Okay. Next execution is 12:15, 2 minutes. Let's see. Uh, Background job. It failed 1 minute ago. That is something worker related. That is fine. So we'll wait for 2 minutes. Let's see if this executes. Cool. And with that, we are done for today. Just push this. Yeah, it triggered. Has started. It failed. So Q is default. Hmm. I think we should put it in the long queue, probably. At least in the dock, when they click the button, it should be the long queue. Uh, and how do we configure long in a cron? Because for daily hourly, what we can do is daily long, hourly long. I think there is some, yeah, dash long, daily long, hourly long, monthly long, and in schedule in queue long. It's already long. Cool. Control Shift G. for long queue. Cool, so that is working. So we're done for today. And we're done with this series. So now what I will do behind the scenes is mostly polishing, refactoring things, making them cleaner. Other than that, some UI things, for example, this two long inputs I don't like, so we'll break them down into columns as well. That's it for this series. We'll see you. Next, probably we'll do events app again, one live stream in the coming days and weeks. So bye bye.